Hello everyone, it's Queen V Line back to you with another video. This video pertains to the unfortunate unaliving of 11-year-old London Olsen. Before I begin, I would like to extend my support and condolences to London Olsen's siblings, family members, loved ones, and community at this time as you begin to grieve the loss of your sibling and loved one at this time. According to reports, Kiana Dillon, mother of 4, allegedly unalived her 11-year-old child, London Olsen, and 4 pets. Currently, Dillon is being charged with homicide in connection to this case. Officers were called to a Middle River home at around 12 p.m. on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Inside the home, officers discovered the body of London Olsen, a dog, 2 cats, and a rabbit. Dillon allegedly told officers she touched her daughter and admitted that she unalived the 4 animals to show the victim what would happen if she didn't tell the truth, according to a charging document. Before Dillon was charged with homicide of her child, London Olsen, Dillon was convicted of attempted homicide at 15 years old. Following her release from prison, she was later convicted of second-degree assault and accused of threatening to burn down her cousin's home. In the complaint from December 2021, her cousin would further state that Dillon is dangerous, violent, and a threat to society. Dillon, however, did not appear in court, triggering a warrant for her arrest. However, 2.5 years later, it was never served. Baltimore County Police blamed the misspelling of her last name and no listed address, although in dispatch audio from the day of the deadly discovery, an officer can be heard reporting 1099 code, signaling he knew Dillon was wanted. "Is this the same address you went to earlier?" the dispatcher questioned. "Yes, I was. The mother up here we were looking for earlier is 99, the officer responded. Neighbors also claimed this wasn't the first time officers have been called to the house recently. A nearby resident stated that they just got a call 3 or 4 days ago for a SA at this location, but they didn't believe it to be true. On Monday, January 27th, 2025, Fox 45 asked Baltimore County Police if the home had received any recent calls for service. We also asked how many attempts officers made to serve Dillon's warrant. Instead of answering immediately, officers required Fox 45 to file a formal Maryland Public Information Act request, delaying when we will likely hear back. As for what interactions officers had with Dillon in the last month, a police spokesperson would only state contact was not made with the suspect before the homicide occurred. Had that warrant been served, I have no doubt that she would have been out almost immediately, and so that would not have prevented any crime, according to the National Police Association Sergeant Betsy Smith. Weighing in, Smith stated warrants for low-level offenses are typically a low priority for short-staffed police departments. She was much more disturbed by the videos Dylan posted to social media in the days leading up to the alleged murder. In one of those videos, Dylan could be heard stating, "You gave my daughter HIV. My 11-year-old is walking around with HIV." She can be heard saying. Smith also questioned people in her friend circle on Facebook were seeing them. Did any of them report them to the police? The victim's aunt, Ariel Johnson, stated she reported them to the Department of Human Services, DHS, but stated by the time a welfare check arrived, tragically, it was too late. DHS is not willing to comment on the specifics of this case, citing federal and state privacy laws. It's also unclear if the school system could have intervened. Unbeknownst to the victim's extended family, Baltimore County Public Schools claimed the child was unenrolled back in 2023. A BCPS spokesperson tells Fox 45, there is a process that all MD public schools must follow for enrollment withdrawal, transfer, or homeschooling. The school followed processes for the student's specific situation. However, they will not say where exactly the student went or what specific protocols were followed, arguing that would be a violation of the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FEPRA, even though the student is now unalived. Now you will watch this brief news clip, and I will be back with my commentary.
Olson was killed last week inside her home. Her mother was arrested. Police say she strangled her daughter.
It's an innocent child, an innocent life that was snuffed out way too soon. For what? For no reason.
Well, today we're learning more about our mother, Kiana Dillon's criminal history. Fox 25's Rebecca Pryor live, digging deeper into the events leading up to the little girl's death and questioning what red flags may have gone ignored. Rebecca.
Yeah, Mary, a mother accused of strangling her daughter to death. Clearly, this incident in and of itself, it's deeply disturbing. But tonight, so are some of the red flags that might have been missed. As the family of 11-year-old London Olson grieve an unimaginable loss, questions remain over what led up to the tragedy.
Y'all just don't even know.
Before she was accused of killing her own child, 34-year-old Kiana Dillon, convicted of attempted murder as a teenager, then following her release, convicted of second-degree assault and accused of threatening to burn down her cousin's home. In the complaint from December of 2021, her cousin calling Dillon dangerous, violent, and a threat to society. Ultimately, Dillon never showing up to court, triggering an arrest warrant that years later was never served. Police blaming the misspelling of her name and no listed address, although in dispatch audio from the day of the deadly discovery.
Is this the same address you went to earlier?
Yes, that was. The mother we were looking for earlier is 99.
An officer heard giving a 1099, signaling he knew Dillon was wanted.
I knew she was a little off.
Neighbors also claiming this wasn't the first time police had been called to the house.
The cops said that they just got a call 3 or 4 days ago for a SA at this location but they didn't believe it to be true.
Today, Baltimore County Police requiring Fox 45 file a formal information request for any recent 911 calls and the amount of attempts officers made to reach Dylan, delaying when we'll receive answers. A BPD spokesperson only willing to say contact was not made with the suspect before the homicide occurred. Weighing in,
had that warrant been served, I have no doubt that she would have been out almost immediately. And so that would not have prevented any crime.
Sergeant Betsy Smith with the National Police Association says warrants for low-level offenses are often low priorities for short-staffed police departments. She was much more disturbed by the videos of Dylan.
Y'all gave my daughter HIV. My 11-year-old is running around with HIV.
Posted to social media in the days leading up to the murder.
People in her friend circle on Facebook were seeing them. Did any of them report them to the police?
Olson's aunt claiming she reported them to the Department of Human Services, but says by the time a welfare check arrived, tragically, it was too late. DHS not commenting on the case, citing federal and state privacy laws. Meanwhile, it's also unclear if the school system could have intervened. Unbeknownst to Olson's family, BCPS says she was unenrolled in 2023. BCPS claiming all protocols were followed, but wouldn't say where she went.
And this is literally a case of getting lost in the system. This is why bureaucracy doesn't help children.
Tomorrow, the family has planned a public vigil at the home around 6:30 to honor Olson's life. The details of that and a link to the GoFundMe that they've set up to help pay for funeral costs can be found in this story on our website at foxbaltimore.com.
I cannot begin to imagine what this little child experienced as her mother unalived her. I cannot even begin to imagine what London Olson's siblings witnessed as their older sibling was being taken out by their own mama. This baby and her siblings were failed on so many levels. The system failed London Olson and her siblings. The community failed London Olson and her siblings. There is no way that you can witness your friend on social media crashing out in real time, stating accusations that could or could not be true. It is not up to you guys to know this. It is up to you guys to notify authorities that something is going on with your friend. But instead, you guys were chatting, liking, commenting, and I would not be surprised if you guys were recording her erratic behavior as she was live. We have to start getting back into the habit of looking out for each other. Social media and this post-COVID era is making us unreliable to our own community members. These babies experienced a horror in which their older sibling was unalived by their own mother. These babies are going to need counseling, not only in the weeks, not only in the months, but for years and decades to come, because they are going to have to figure out why their own mother would unalive their own sibling. We have to start speaking up before it's too late. This person had an outstanding warrant, and because of a misspelling, Dylan was not properly served. What occurred in 2023 for London Olson not to be in school in 2023? That also needs to be investigated. What happened in 2023 in which this baby was not in a school setting? Where were counselors that could have identified that something was going on in the household? Again, the system failed not only London Olsen, but her siblings in the process. When are we as community members going to stop this mentality of it's not my child, so it's not my problem? The issue is we as the community are losing out on our future presidents, CEOs, and innovators. We have to be honest with ourselves and realize that some of these parents, guardians, and caretakers are violating our babies. And if we see something, we should say something. We should not wait until our future is being taken away from us for us to say something. Some of these adults don't need to be around children, and that's okay. But if we do not take a stand now, we will continue to repeating this dangerous cycle every week, every month, and every year. When are we going to say enough is enough? How many more of our babies must we lose before we say enough? We must start practicing looking out for each other before it's too late. I will leave in the comments and description below for organizations and hotlines as it pertains to child welfare. And as always, protect Black children. Say their names, known and unknown. Say her name, London Olsen. Justice for London Olsen. And as always, please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.